What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Massy, and today, let me walk you through my top 5 movements to work your back without using machines. So if you're one of those people that gets to the gym and all the machines are taken, this is what I want you to do. And actually, these exercises are going to show you an effective way to train even at home. All right, so let's stop talking, let's start moving. Everything that you need to know, it's going to be in the description below this video. Do not forget to subscribe, and let's stop talking, let's start moving, let's get it. First exercise, a band lat pull down. So first things first, one of the reasons why I love this one exercise, doing it with the bands, is that you get both resistance at the bottom of your rep range and as you're coming up to the top. And the crazy thing about the bands is that you have these vibrations that are happening throughout the entire rep range of this one exercise, and you are not set and accommodated by a machine. So when you go into the lat pull-down machine, you are hooking yourself down and your lever, your bar, really stabilizes the entire movement. So you're gonna grab one power band, this is medium resistance, and find yourself a bar, and what I'm doing is setting it up where I have a bench that I can sit, okay, on. And let's take you through this. So I'm doing this half a loop hook, and all I'm doing is setting it up so that I am right underneath the bar. From here, I am going to tuck my rib cage under, and this is what I mean when doing a lat pull down. We are going to pull the band down, and you see me shaking because this is not easy, right? I'm not hooked onto a machine, therefore I have to really use my entire body. Now let's engage the scapula, pull down, and come back up. And as I'm shaking, you see those little vibrations that are happening on the band, so you get both resistance down and up, but I'm stabilizing the movement. There you go. When I'm pulled the band down, I'm squeezing my core, making sure that I am tucked under. As I release, I am stretching out my lats and engaging the lats to pull the band down. One more rep for the win. Pull it down and come back up. One of the things that I want you to remember is your body does not work alone. Like, when you think about exercises, most people think about exercises as working different muscle groups, but you can involve your entire body because the body works in unison, all right? So as I'm pulling the band down, I am creating pressure and turning my abs on, and look, I'm already sweating. Yes, it's really hot in here, but the tension that has to happen through the entire movement, I believe, makes this one exercise better than doing it with the lat pull down machine. Let's take you through my second most favorite, an inverted row. Let's get it. My second most favorite exercise, and as you may assume, I love exercises that allow me to use my entire body. The inverted row is not a very easy exercise, but you can master it, all right? And there's 2 ways. So I am going to go modify. So we want to set up you're going to be in the squat rack, all right? So, or any other machine setup that allows you to put a bar and go underneath. You can actually even do this with a TRX. And I love the TRX row inverted because it allows you to have, or it requires more stabilization to keep you neutral in row on your abs. So I'm gonna go underneath this bar, and you can go overhand or underhand. Underhand, you're gonna be using more of your biceps. Overhand, we're gonna be using more of the upper back muscles, all right? But by me being in an inverted row, and I'm going to start, all right, this is a little too, all right. So you want to make sure that you have your arms extended. So I knew that this was going to be a little too low because I was bending my arms and my hips look too low. So I'm going to raise this about 2 notches. And then we're going to end in a better position. Think about, what am I doing? There we go. All right, so let's get underneath the bar now that it's in a better position. So, like I told you at the top, because this is going to start in a modified way, you want to make sure that your hips are going to be parallel to the floor. So I'm going to get right underneath the bar and I am going to tuck under, raise the hips, right? So push away from the floor with the heels and pull yourself up and down, keeping that tuck under on the core. This is going to be your modified version. And one of the things that this is doing, by you maintaining the position on your core, you're doing an isometric hold on the core. So yes, we're strengthening the core as much as we are strengthening the back muscles of the upper back, all right? So let's say you have mastered this version. A lot of the things that I like to do in the beginning for my clients and or in my programs on masvida is to add a yoga block between my legs that I'm squeezing at the same time to maintain a neutral position on the hips and to make this inner thighs really strong, all right? So now let's walk you through the advanced version, which is going to end in like a reverse plank. So this is a lot more difficult to do as your limbs are away from the axis of rotation, that is your hips. Let's get a little bit underneath the bar where your breast or your nipple is touching on the bar. Here, we are going to engage the core and pull. Down, take a nice deep breath, exhale and pull. There you go. Squeeze. Feel your heels and you're gonna find glutes as well. There we go. We are, if you're thinking about muscle groups, we're strengthening the biceps, we're strengthening the upper back, we're strengthening the core. If you're extended and feel the heels and you're tucked under, we're going to be working the core muscles and also a little bit of the glutes, all right? So this marks my top second exercise. Now, for those who at the top, you're having a really hard time reaching the top of the bar without losing your core, then we really have to work on the mobility of our shoulders and our spine and also our hips, all right? So think about the video prior to this where we were talking about mobility being super important in order for you to perform mechanically correctly the exercises. Mechanically correct. Performing the exercises with good mechanics. There you go. All right, so that marks top 2. And you're gonna find that yes, we're working our back muscles, but our entire bodies are integrated in that function. Let's move on to the third. So on to the next exercise. We have a 3-point row. And usually when you guys see a 1-arm row being done, you get a lot of people trying to get to the side of the bench, put their legs back there, do all this like jerking and like rotating. I like to keep movement honest. I told you in the beginning of the video that I like to perform exercises that allow me to use my core. If you're not using your core in every single movement and you don't feel it, what are we doing? The entire body is integrated here. So let's walk you through this 3-point row. I love this one exercise and it teaches you a lot of good things. Anytime that we go unilateral, right? Exercises, single arm or single leg exercises where we're loading on one side of the body, it's going to require these guys, your obliques. They are your anti-rotators. So let's find some obliques in this row. we are going to do a 3-point. And the reason why this is 3-point, my legs, 1, 2, 3. So here, by making the movement honest, we are going to grab our weight, push away from the bench, and row with control. Back down, row with control. As you roll the weight in, you're going to find that one oblique is really challenged to try to keep your hips neutral to the floor. So try it this way instead of the previous form that I showed you guys. I'm sure you are quite familiar with that. Now, I have a 30-pound. Let's see if my ego, let's say you really want to push weight. And let me show you what not to do. Now, I'm gonna put a 60 in here. I'm gonna show you how strong I am, right? Because strength has nothing to do with the size of your muscles, right? So if I wanted to row a 60-pound with control, I can, right? Because my core is strong. Because I have enough mobility at the bottom and at the top range of that movement. So not necessarily I want to compromise weight for form. I could be here, right? Trying to do this, but what are we teaching the body? We want the movement to be honest. So build that mind and muscle connection, all right? That you're able to dominate the weight that you're trying to push or pull without losing the mechanics. All right, let's move on to exercise number 4. Fourth exercise, a band pull apart. So now we are talking a little bit of real delts. Now we're continuing to work on our range of motion. This exercise, even, you can train your core. And you're wondering why I have a yoga block between my legs. Let's walk you through it. Because beginners, in order to stabilize this movement and not lose your core in the process, this yoga block is going to be very helpful. So this is going to go in between your legs, and I want you to squeeze it, right? Now, by tucking under and squeezing this yoga block, it's going to put you in better position. We are going to grab a light band, depending on your level of strength. We are not going to be compromising weight for form. So here, we are going to extend our arms and protract, and from there, we're going to pull the band apart, keeping a nice bend on the elbows, come back and pull. Now on that comeback, as you're shaky, you're gonna realize that you have both resistance on the concentric portion of the movement and the eccentric portion of the movement. There we go. Let's do a couple of more reps. Continue to squeeze that yoga block. You should feel glutes and inner thighs. We're touching real delts, upper back muscles. Beautiful. Now, let's move on. The last but not least. Yes, we have addressed middle back, upper back, rear delts. Now, how about the extensors of your back? These muscles are extremely important, right? So, let's build some strength. The other day, one of Indy's friends, she goes, "What is that on your back?" And I go, "What do you mean?" And she goes, "What is that?" I said to her, "It's my back." You guys see that over 11 years, I have built such strong erectors that I'm able to pull and push weight and be really strong. But these guys, right, that support your spine are really important, all right? So let's be prone to the floor, giving you guys anatomical terms. Well, not anatomical, but physio names. Prone, you're onto the floor, supine, you are facing the ceiling. So we are going to place our faces. If you want to bring in a towel, bring in a towel. Now we're going to keep the spine nice and neutral, and we're going to drive the hands forward. Thumbs up, doesn't really matter, but I like my thumbs up, no problem. And I'm gonna squeeze the legs together. If you have those juicy hamstrings, this may be really hard to do, squeezing, but we're gonna be squeezed here, and we are going to raise up and come down. Now, as I'm raising up, I'm tucking under at the same time and down. If you've never done this movement, you're going to find that those erectors are going to turn on real quickly and they're going to tighten up on you, all right? This should not go onto the low back. This should be on your erectors, okay? So we squeeze, right? And by tucking under, we are making sure that we go into full hip extension without going into the low back, all right? So another way that you can do this is by raising up, drawing a plane. This is going to actually contract even better. So these are two versions that you can do, and up and around with the arms and come back down. Up again, around with the arms and coming back down. Whew. So you don't have to wait for machines. You can really be really creative with your exercise selection. Everything that I have given you here, you can do without the use of machines, without having to wait for anyone to stop using the lat pull downs and or any other machine that you guys use. Honestly, it's been over 7 years that I don't train at a regular gym. So most of my movement, unless I'm making a program that is gym-based, which you will find on masvida, I am training body weight and with free weights. Because at this point, for me, I'm about to turn 35 this year. At this point, for me, it's about function and longevity. It's about taking my body through the next 40 years without injury, without hurting myself in the process, without feeling like I am way down. I want to be long, lean, I want to feel healthy, I want to feel mobile, and I want to be able to even play with my grandkids, with Indy's babies, okay? So at this point, think about how you're training. Think about training for function rather than just training to increase a muscle or decrease a muscle. How does this workout allow me to have function? How is my mobility when I'm doing these exercises? You don't want to fall into the trap of just training so much about like these exercises that don't promote range, don't promote mobility, don't promote flexibility, all right? So this is all I have to say. If these exercises helped you, if anything that I spoke about resonates with you, leave me your comments in the comment section below and give me ideas. What would you like to learn from me? And we'll make it happen next week. I love you guys. You guys already know. Make sure that you subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok. I'm everywhere. I'll see you on the next video. I love you guys.